Shalom, this is a Beak back with another edification. I want to thank all of my subscribers. I want to thank all 202 of my subscribers. I want to wish all of my subscribers high health and high spirits, and I wish that all of my subscribers and your loved ones are safe and protected against these agendas that are waged against us here behind enemy lines here in America. Okay, white superiority. In America, behind enemy lines, the so-called whites, which are the Edomites of the Bible, they have empowered the so-called black female as the leader of the so-called black community. And she's a complete failure, all right? The children are a mess. The daughters are prostitutes and single mothers. They can't prevent single motherhood. And the males are crash outs. They have no leadership, and they're regarded as the help to these so-called females. Okay, now let me put this in airplane mode for a second. Well, actually, let me put this in airplane mode for a second. Okay. Lately, there has been this statue that has been erected somewhere in New York, and I wanted to touch on this too. And I've said this countless of times that this so-called black female is the strongest soldier in the white man's army, and she has a deep-seated, twisted desire to be the so-called white man's first lady. All right, and she has she fantasizes, the Western so-called black female Gentile. She fantasizes about being the first lady to a so-called Edomite or a so-called white man's. She fantasizes about being the first lady to a so-called white man here in America, and it's not just her. Okay, there are other races of females that do the same thing. We see the Africans, the so-called Africans, which are the Hamites of the Bible. They practice Catholicism as well. Their culture is watered down with westernized images and dress codes. Okay, their judges in their court systems wear the wigs like the French and the colonizers did. All right, so let's get into this. It says giant plus-size black woman. Salaki, I'm going to read this article, and I'm going to read some scriptures, and I have a couple of supportive videos to go along with this edification. Giant plus-size black woman statue causes a stir in Times Square. Why does it cause a stir? Because let's get into the statue. Part of it is because part of the stir is that this so-called black woman, she stands alone. Okay, she's a standalone. It says in a corner of Times Square in New York City, there's a subsection known as Duffy Square. There stands two statues which have been there since the middle of the 20th century. One is that of Father Francis P. Duffy, a military chaplain and member of the New York Army National Guard who served in both the Spanish-American War and World War I. That statue was dedicated by Mayor Fiorella LaGuardia in May of 1937. Then, in 1959, the statue of Duffy was joined by one of George M. Cohan, the songwriter, who received a Congressional Medal of Honor from the then President Franklin D. Roosevelt for writing the unofficial anthem of U.S. troops in World War II. Over there, the song is called He's also responsible for Give My Regards to Broadway, the Yankee Doodle Boy, and Your Grand Old Flag, okay, for those of you keeping track at home, okay? Those two eminences are now joined by a plus-size black woman. Okay, now, so-called black woman, she's constantly comparing herself to men. And when I, in my videos, and in my previous videos, I've mentioned how this so-called black woman, when she converts to the universal religion of Christianity, all right, the one world religion of Christianity, she she reads the Bible and she compares herself to the men. She studies the men. She doesn't study what the females are required to do in the Bible. She studies the men, and then she attempts to usurp authority over the men by trying to be equal. All right, equal. She goes and tries to teach scripture when the Bible says clearly women are not supposed to teach. All right, women are not to usurp authority over the men. Okay, but this Western so-called black female, she's the ringleader. Okay, she's the ringleader of doing away with the keeping of the law. Okay, she likes her little empowerment that the so-called white man gives her. All right, she likes to stand alone. Okay, this is why I recommend to the men to walk away from the Western female. Do not desire her for sex or for family or for creating offspring with. Okay, she's your number one enemy over here in America. I would say she's your number two enemy because we know white supremacy is number one. But I said it before, the so-called black woman, she's the enemy of the state of so-called black, Latino, Native American men, women, and children. She's a threat to the men. All right, she's a threat. All right, now let's get into this. It says these two eminences are now joined by a plus-size black woman. All right, an obese black woman. Right, these females that are. Let me get it. Let me just keep reading. What plus-sized black woman? Well, what plus-sized black woman do you want her to be? Right, because again, this is a moment to laugh at the so-called black woman. She's stupid. It says, no, seriously, that's apparently the artistic intent behind the statue grounded in the stars. Because again, me personally, I don't know who the hell this so-called black woman is supposed to be on this statue. Who is she supposed to be besides the image of the Western so-called black female Gentile, okay, who let herself go spiritually and physically, all right? It says, Grounded in the Stars by Thomas J. Price, a 12-foot fall bronze sculpture which, according to the official Times Square website, reimagines both the monument and monumentality in Times Square. Okay, so this is all symbolism, all right? Esau, Edom, the so-called whites have always created statues of people, and they worship, well, they're idol worshipers, okay? It's all a part of their idolatry, all right? And the so-called black woman here in America behind enemy lines has been made an idol. She has become an idol, all right? An idol. And other females that are lost will worship this idol and strive to be independent of men, independent of keeping the law, statutes, and commandments of the God of Israel, their God, the so-called black woman, Latino woman, and Native American and Seminole Indian woman's God. These females, they want to stand alone. Okay, so let's keep going. It says a fictionalized character, fictional. Wow, because it's true. Okay, this image is a true image of how. I'm gonna get into it. A fictional character constructed from images, observations, and open calls spanning between Los Angeles and London. The young woman depicted in the Grounded in the Stars carries familiar qualities from her stance and countenance to her everyday clothing, right? Everyday clothing. Her stupid dress code. Let's get it. We're gonna get into the countenance of her everyday clothing, right? In her depiction, one recognizes a shared humanity, yet the contrapposto pose of her body and the ease of her stance is a subtle nod to Michelangelo's David through scale, materiality, and posture. See, all of this is vanity. And only the Gentiles honor this kind of display. All right. Grounded in the stars disrupts traditional ideas around that what defines a triumphant figure and challenges who should be rendered immortal through monumentalization. Okay. Here is the image of the so-called black female Gentile. She's undesirable. She's obese. Okay. She's ugly. Okay. And she really doesn't look like anybody. Who is this? Nobody. This is just an image, a symbol of what the American female is. She's independent. She's standing alone. She has no husband. She don't give a damn about no children. It's all about her. And this is what brings her value down, is that she wants to stand alone. Okay, so this is why I recommend to the men, do not support these females. Do not engage with them. Don't even compliment them. All right, I made the video about complimenting the female, and it just goes left. These females are on their own. They do not desire husbands or men. They really don't like men. All right, and this agenda with feminism is where this comes from. This is who these females are. All right, they're informants for the so-called white race. All right, they're Gentiles, okay, which makes them strange women, strange females, okay, they're strangers, okay, these are strangers. She's undesirable, she's alone, okay, and she's a feminist, okay. This is what it is. Now, I'll leave this in the description below, but I wanted to, and so you can read the rest, okay. I don't know, but this female, she's overweight, she's undesirable, she's unfit for marriage. This is what they represent. They said they're depicting the everyday dress code of her. She's not professional looking. She looks like trash. All right. I don't approach females that look like this. Braided hair, nothing divine or spectacular about her. This female is undesirable. I see this female every day in society, in American society every day, and I do not desire her. Okay, she's unfit physically, and she's unfit spiritually for marriage. Okay, standing alone. This is what the so-called black woman in America wants to be. She wants to be independent, and so talk to these females as if they can do it. Give them a round of applause. Be their number one fan. Say, yes, you can do it. I believe you females can do it on your own. You don't need men. This is how I talk to the females. Y'all don't need men. Stop acting like y'all need men. Y'all don't need men. All right, y'all need to keep on going. All right, pray. Talk to Jesus. Okay, talk to the King of the Gentiles. Talk to Jesus. Okay, pray. Send Pastor Pork Chop some money so you can get your blessings. Okay. Peter Popoff, I heard he's pretty good for the Gentile community. Contact Peter Popoff. Pastor Peter Popoff. That's what I heard, that he is definitely looking out for you, independent, unfit, leaders of the so-called black community. Your preachers will help you. All right. Your local Gentile preachers will help you. All right. White America will help you. Hopefully there's some programs out there that are always available for these females, but they do not need men. All right. And this statue reminded me of this one. Now before I get, let me just go here. When I first saw this statue, this is what I thought. This is what I thought of. I thought of this. Let me go here. Oh, let me open up my airplane mode. Salakia. This is what I thought of right here. See, the news break is already coming in. It's still Still notifications coming in about this statue of this obese, undesirable
A giant
female.
prison is built at the deepest bottom of the
Damn
sea
it.
in the world, where
Okay, let's
tens
go.
of thousands of
This
prisoners
is
are
what I
held.
thought of.
They're all gonna laugh at you! They're all gonna laugh at you! They're all gonna laugh at you!
We're all going to laugh at you so-called black females who think that this statue represents what, you know, what you're supposed to be. You've let yourself go, so-called black women. Let me play this right quick. Let me play this right quick again.
They're all gonna laugh at you! They're all gonna laugh at you! They're all gonna laugh at you!
We're all laughing at you. We're all laughing at you, so-called black female here in America behind enemy lines. We are all laughing at you. Okay, let's play that again. Let's play that again.
They're all gonna laugh at you!
We're all laughing at you.
They're all gonna laugh at you! They're all gonna laugh at you!
We're all laughing at you, man. You know what I'm saying? We're all laughing at you, man. You so-called black, Latino, Native American, female Gentiles over here in America, here behind enemy lines. We are laughing at you. We are laughing at you and how you have become a martyr of feminism. All right? So-called whites do not give a damn about you females having husbands, legacy, wealth. They don't give a damn about that. And if you think you're independent, you are stupid. If you think you are free, you are dumb and stupid. Okay, these so-called black females have become the strongest soldier in the white man's army. All right? Let's remember this statue right here. Anybody remember this? Anybody remember this? Anybody remember this statue? Anybody remember this? The Black History statue of the man, woman, and child in Senegal. See how the baby is pointing and the father is strong and present, and the woman is like very feminine and divine and beautiful. Okay, that at least this statue that was erected in Africa represented the family. Okay, it says the African Renaissance Monument, unveiled in 2010 as part of the celebration of the 50th anniversary of Senegal's independence from France. The African Renaissance Monument in Dakar, Senegal is a 164-foot, 50-meter bronze statue of a man, a woman, and child. Notice how they put the man first, man, the woman, and the child is proper order, the natural order, man. And I'm going to get into the natural order because the so-called black Western female Gentile, she has a disdain for the natural order. So since the so-called white race has empowered her in the so-called black community, she wants to stand alone. So I don't support them. I support them standing alone. Okay? It says here, let me see, keep on going down. What is the controversy? What is the story behind the African Renaissance Monument? Meant to symbolize the triumph of African liberation and rival the Statue of Liberty and the Eiffel Tower as a tourist destination. Well, this so-called black female, her statue is her being risen to the point of being a martyr of feminism. And if this empowers these so-called black females over here in America, then okay, then get y'all ass to work and go get a damn job. Go get 12 jobs if you got 11. Go get 15 jobs if you got 14. The so-called white man, he wants you to be his workhorse, his number one workhorse. So get out there and work. That's why I tell these females, go work. I'm not paying for shit. Go work. You know what I'm saying? Go get your ass 4 or 5 jobs. Okay? This reminds me of this, man. I thought about this too. I thought about this scene right here. All right, check it out. Take it out of airplane mode again, Salakia. Let's get that back on here. Let's watch it.
So whose fault was it
It's
then?
this bitch's fault because she let my man have her and she didn't say nothing. She didn't scream. She didn't do nothing. So those things that she told you I did to her, who else was going to love me? Since you got your degree and you know every fucking thing, who was going to love me? Who was going to
Okay. Since you got your degrees, all right. Since you got your degrees, okay. All right. Since you got your degrees, so-called black woman, all right. That's what it is. Y'all think y'all the shit because y'all got y'all degrees and shit. Then get your ass out there and go work for the white man. Let's go back over here. Let's go back over here.
me feel good? Who was going to touch me and make me feel good late at night? And she made him go away. So when you sit there and you write them fucking notes on your pad about who you think I am and why I did it and all of that, because I didn't have nobody.
Let's go back. I want to watch that again. Let's hear that again. Bring it back. Let's play it again.
And she didn't say nothing. She didn't scream. She didn't do nothing. So those things that she told you I did to her, who else was going to love me? Since you got your degree and you know every fucking thing.
Right. Since you got your degrees, and you know every fucking thing, so-called black female Gentiles, since you got your degrees and you know every fucking thing, right? Then get your ass out there, man, and be a single mother and do the best you can and hurry the fuck up and leave us alone and leave the men alone. Leave the men alone. You got it. You got it. Call the sisterhood if you need help. Call the king of the Gentiles if you need help. Call one of the Gentiles if you need help. Leave the men alone. This is why these females have made it their business to be the way they are. Look, let me read this right quick. All right, let's get into this real quick. And my point is in 22, is in verse 22, but I'm gonna read this on down. Let me go back in airplane mode. This is Jeremiah 31. All right, and 1. At the same time, saith the Lord Yahweh, I will be the God of all the families of Israel. All right, it's to you so-called black, Latino, Native American Indians, the Bible is for the Israelites only. The Christians in the Bible are your Edomites, okay? They are the Edomites. The Romans, Edomites, all right? Herod, all Edomites. These are your so-called whites, okay? This is written to the Israelites, all right? And my point is in verse 22, pertaining to the so-called black female Gentile statue, okay? It says, and the symbolism behind the stupid statue for the stupid female. It says, at the same time, saith the Lord Yahweh, I will be the God of all the families of Israel, all right? The 12 tribes of Israel. And they shall be my people, all right? Not these non-Israelite Gentiles. The God of Israel, the God of the Bible, is only the God of the Israelites, not the Christian. He's not the God of Israel, is not a Christian. And his son, Yahweh Shai, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus, which is earth pig in Latin, is not a Christian. This is not a Christian Bible. This is a Hebrew Israelite Bible, all right, condemning non-Israelites, which are the heathens. The so-called white race is the devil race, the children of Satan, okay? They worship Satan. Hurry up. Thus saith the Lord, the people which were left of the sword found grace in the wilderness, okay? They didn't die. The ones who didn't get put to death found grace in wilderness. Even Israel, when I went to cause him to rest, okay? The Lord have appeared of old unto me, saying, Yea, I have loved thee with an everlasting love. Talking about the children of Israel. Everlasting love, forever. All right, it's not talking about non-Israelites. Therefore, with loving kindness have I drawn thee, okay? Again, I will build thee, okay? After he destroyed us and sent us into slavery. And thou shalt be built, O virgin of Israel, okay? Thou shalt again be adorned with thy tabrets, and shalt go forth in the dances of them that make merry, okay? Talking about our fine apparel. Thou shalt yet plant vines upon the mountains of Samaria, okay? The planters shall plant and shall eat them as common things, okay? Talking about the food and the yield of the crops. For there shall be a day that the watchmen upon the Mount Ephraim, the so-called Puerto Ricans, shall cry, Arise ye, and let us go up to Zion unto the Lord Yahweh, our God, okay? God of the Bible is the God of the Israelites only. For thus saith the Lord Yahweh, sing with gladness for Jacob, all right, so-called black, Latino, Native American man, women, and children, all right, and shout among the chief of the nations, publish ye, praise ye, and say, O Lord Yahweh, save thy people, the remnant, okay, because not all so-called black, Latino, Native American, Indian man, women, and children are considered Israel, okay? Only the remnant, okay? Only the elect, the hopeful elect. Behold, I will bring them from the north country, right, meaning America, and gather them from the coast of the earth, and with them the blind and the lame, okay, talking about our people that have to come back to their heritage, okay. It says, the woman with child and her that travaileth with child together, a great company shall return thither, okay. So we're going to be redeemed, all right. Only the children of Israel. They shall come with weeping, and with supplications will I lead them, all right, because we're going to be emotional when we're brought back to the marriage of our God, all right. It says, I will cause them to walk by the rivers of water in a straight way, all right, wherein they shall not stumble, for I am a father to Israel, and Ephraim is my firstborn, all right. So he's going to keep us close to his word and him. Hear the word of the Lord, O ye nations, and declare it in the isles afar off, and say, he that scattered Israel will gather him and keep him, as a shepherd doth his flock. So we're going to be recovered, all right, from our captivity by the God of Israel, all right? Not this one world religion, Christianity, definitely not these future slaves, the Edomites, all right, the so-called whites. They're not going to save us, okay? It says, for the Lord Yahweh hath redeemed Jacob and ransomed him from the hand of him that was stronger than he. Talking about the Edomites over here in America. They have conquered us, and they won't let us go, okay? A passport is not enough. We need to, this devil, the so-called whites, need to be wiped out, and their rulership needs to be destroyed, okay? Therefore they shall come and sing in the height of Zion, and shall flow together to the goodness of the Lord Yahweh, for wheat, and for wine, and for oil, and for the young of the flock, and of the herd, and their soul shall be as a watered garden, and they shall not sorrow any more at all. Then shall the virgin rejoice. Remember, my point is in 22. I'm just reading on down to 22. Then shall the virgin rejoice in the dance. The virgin is the children of Israel, both young men and old together. For I will turn their mourning into joy, and I will comfort them and make them rejoice from their sorrow. Okay, so this has not happened yet. And I will satiate the soul of the priests with fatness, and my people shall be satisfied with my goodness, saith the Lord Yahweh. Thus saith the Lord Yahweh, a voice was heard in Ramah, lamentation and bitter weeping. Rahel, weeping for her children, refused to be comforted for her children because they were not, okay? Thus saith the Lord, Yahweh, refrain thy voice from weeping, okay, and thine eyes from tears, for thy work shall be rewarded, saith the Lord Yahweh. And they shall come again from the land of the enemy, okay? And there is hope in thine end, because he's promising her that her children will be delivered from the hands of the enemy. And there is hope in thine end, saith the Lord Yahweh, that thy children shall come again to their own border, okay? He's going to redeem the children, okay? This is only the God of Israel can redeem anyone. These so-called whites can't even save themselves, okay, from the crash of America. Their own empires are crashing. The Empire of America, the Empire of Britain, the empire of their religion, all right? Them devilish-ass popes over there who's deceiving the entire world with the one-world religion of Christianity, using that deception using the deception of that white hippie, that idol, Jesus. All right. It says 18, I have surely heard Ephraim bemoaning himself thus, thou hast chastised me, and I was chastised as a bullock, unaccustomed to the yoke. Turn thou me, and I shall be turned, for thou art the Lord Yahweh my God. Ephraim is pleading with the Most High, explaining to the Most High, and begging the Most High to please redeem him and lift this punishment from him so that he can prove himself to the Most High God once again, that he's righteous. 19, surely after that I was turned. So the Most High answered Ephraim and allowed him to repent. I repented, and after that I was instructed. He kept the commandments after he repented again. I smote upon my thigh, and I was ashamed, yea, even confounded, because I did bear the reproach of my youth. Is Ephraim my dear son? Is he a pleasant child? For since I spake against him, I do earnestly remember him still. Therefore my bowels are troubled for him. I will surely have mercy upon him, saith the Lord Yahweh the power. All right. Set thee up waymarks, make thee high heaps. Set thine heart toward the highway, even the way which thou wentest. Turn again, O Virgin of Israel, turn again to these thy cities. Okay, so the Most High is explaining the direction to go in once being redeemed. 22, this is my whole point about the statue of the so-called black female Gentile. All right. It says, how long wilt thou go about, O thou backsliding daughter? Talking about the children of Israel. How long will we refuse to answer the call of duty and to come back to our heritage and to listen and to do what our God says? Salakia. How long wilt thou go about, O thou backsliding daughter? For the Lord Yahweh have created a new thing in the earth. A woman shall compass a man. A woman shall compass a man. Okay, and I'll leave this in the description so anyone wants to continue reading about the so-called black, Latino, Native American men, women, and children as keepers of the law, statutes, and commandments of the God of Israel, which the Bible is only about the children of Israel, past, present, and future relationship with their God, and only their God, Yahweh, and their Lord, Yahweh Shah. All right? Now, that's what I wanted to read, how a woman shall compass a man. All right? A woman shall compass a man. All right? That's what this is about. And that's the title of this video. It's going to be a woman, the so-called, I don't know, I might put it like that, but that's what I wanted to talk about today. How a woman shall compass a man here in Babylon, here behind enemy lines, here in America. They call it a giant plus-size statue. All right, a giant plus-size statue. They're all going to laugh at you, so-called black woman. They're all going to laugh at you. so-called black woman. We're all going to laugh at you, so-called black woman. Okay? You are the laughing stock of your own race. All right? And I know they don't give a damn. They don't care what nobody thinks about them. And that's why it's best for the so-called men, the so-called black men, to not care what they think about
They're all
us.
gonna laugh at you.
One more time.
They're all gonna laugh at you.
They're all gonna laugh at you.
They're all gonna laugh at you. They're all gonna laugh at you.
So-called black females
They're all gonna laugh at you.
who believe in this idol.
They're all gonna laugh at you.
These so-called black females have become idols. You have become idols over here in America, and the future of you idols is doom. All right. The Edomites have fooled the so-called black female into fulfilling her feminist agenda against the men, the children, and the family, and the legacy, her legacy. She renounced her throne, or she renounced her laws and her God in Genesis with Adam, and she does it throughout history, and she does it throughout the present time, and she's going to continue to be an enemy of the state and an informant, and she's going to continue to be unfit physically and unfit spiritually and unfit for marriage. This is why the so-called black woman is not desired here in America. So with that said, hopefully somebody's been edified. All right. This has been a beat with another edification. I want to thank all of my subscribers, all 202 of my subscribers. I want to wish all of my subscribers high health and high spirits. And I wish all of my subscribers and your loved ones are safe and protected against these agendas like this one here behind enemy lines here in America. Shalom. One more time.
Oh, sorry, Cassie.